Hey, it's Kevin Tolfa with Gig Home. Today I received the Brydge Plus. This is a project that I backed on Kickstarter. This is a wireless keyboard for an iPad 2, 3, or the newest iPad. Unfortunately for me, I sold my iPad 3 when I got my iPad mini. But this is really just a small iPad 2, so it actually does work with the Brydge. Not really intended for that, but I may keep this around and use it with my mini. I'll show you how it works in a few minutes. This is the Brydge Plus, actually. What I did was I paid a little extra for not just the keyboard, but an integrated Bluetooth speaker that's built in here, so that way I can stream my music from an iPad right to the speaker here in the Brydge. So let me unbox this and show you what it looks like. I ordered this, oh geez, months and months ago, and I thought I'd have an iPad still at that point because there was no iPad mini to be had. But here you go. Here's a look at the actual Brydge. You can see it's relatively thin. It's about the size of, I'd say an original iPad. It's got these friction clamps here where you slide in an iPad and then you can close it up and the iPad covers up the keyboard and you've got yourself almost like a little MacBook Air that runs iOS, so to speak. I've got my speaker here. This was an option. You've got dedicated iPad keys all along the top row. And the key placement, it's actually not too bad. I'm having a hard time getting used to the small shift key over here. I keep going to the page up instead, so I've got to kind of retrain myself for that. Pairing's quite easy. Plugs in right here via micro USB. There's an included cable to do that. I haven't charged it yet. It actually came with enough charge for me to use for a little bit. Nothing on the bottom, just some little feet, rubber feet. You can see it. It's nicely made, without a doubt. It's not too heavy. It's probably about as heavy as an iPad, maybe a little bit heavier. So this isn't going to keep you moving along light like an iPad. This is more like carrying two iPads, only one as a keyboard. So I really wish, I keep reaching down here, I really wish there was a little mouse pad, but I'm using the arrow keys to get around with text and cursors and such. So the home button works great. Double tap on the home button. It's just like double tapping on the home button on an iPad. Brings up all the apps that are running or could be running. So that is nice. That's the keyboard. There's extra friction clamps for iPad 3 and 4. So depending which iPad you have, because they're different thicknesses, that's how this was resolved by the team at Brydge, which I totally understand. And then you've got these little cover stickers, which a lot of people weren't too happy about. These would go on the hinges themselves if you wanted to make it match, you know, maybe the bezel of your iPad. So some people, again, weren't too thrilled about that either, but what can you do? So looks like these hinges bend all 180 degrees if you needed them to. I've sat using this on my lap. It works perfectly fine. It's a nice flat base. So let me actually, as silly as it sounds and as silly as it looks, let me show you what the Brydge Plus keyboard looks like with an iPad mini, just representing a full-sized iPad. Let's take a look. Okay, before we get started, let's give you a closer look at the actual keys here so you can get a feel for the keyboard layout and the design. Here's that top row of dedicated iPad keys. And let me see if I can get a shot of how high these are. There's not a lot of travel on these keys, but there's enough. I mean, I find it to be perfectly fine for typing. Just to compare it, some people use Apple's own wireless keyboard. Maybe we can get an idea size-wise. You know, the keyboard is a little bit smaller, so it may take some getting used to in terms of key size and such. Here you can see the keys on the Apple wireless keyboard are a little bit bigger. So it's a little tight, but it's not too bad. Put that down. And what we'll do is I'm going to turn this on, which is right over here. There's a switch. Should glow blue. I'm going to turn on my iPad. Let's go into my settings. Bluetooth. I'm connected to the keyboard already because I had previously paired the Brydge speaker. Let me pair that. And to do that, I believe it was a Control B. Now it's ready to pair and it's connected. So now let me just play. I had some Pandora on here. We'll play Pandora for a second. It's not coming out of here. It's coming out of here. Cool. Alright, now let's let the silliness begin. If I put that in there, hopefully you can get a feel for how that's going to fit. Pretend it's a big iPad, and now let me show you some of the features here. We've got the home button. Actually, I'll double tap. You can see here we can go down and take a look at what our apps are running. Nice and easy. You can get rid of that just by doing so. If I hit the lock button, which is all the way on the other side, you'll see it has just locked my iPad mini, in which case I have to hit the home button and unlock. Let's turn the volume down. I'll use a key for that. I could mute. You can see hopefully all the controls are working just fine. And as far as typing, I've got a tripod in my way here, but let me just see if I can, I had Echo phone up and running. And let's see. Here I can reply to somebody here. Yep. Note 2 has NFC also. And send. Just like that, I can be typing. So pretend you've got a big iPad there, you want to be typing on the web, you want to be responding to emails. You can do it right here. You can easily multitask. You're still going to be reaching out to the screen because you can't move 3 different apps using the keys, unfortunately, the arrow keys. But just a little bit of a reach out there and boom, there you are. So just like that. And go back to the App Store perhaps. All apps are up to date. So with a bigger iPad, it would certainly fit and work well, I think. The design is good. The build seems very good. I mean, I've only had it for a few hours. But all in all, this could work really well if you want to turn your iPad into a iPad laptop. So this is the Brydge Plus again with the speaker. Let me crank the music back up. The speaker's not too bad. It's a stereo speaker. Of course, the Mini has 2 speakers as well, so I don't know that I'm gaining all that much there, but again, I didn't plan on having a Mini at this time when I ordered this thing. So all in all, I like it. I think I may just keep it. I don't know that I'll ever get another big iPad again, but I certainly can use it with this. If I don't want to keep it in here, I can certainly take it out and put my cover on. And I've got a stand right there, so I don't need to attach it. I can just do that. And if I want to have this work on my lap, my iPad mini, I can actually attach it back in the stand and use it on my lap. So, you know what? The Brydge is not going to be a total loss for me even though I don't have an iPad. I think it's going to work out okay. Not ideal, but definitely usable. So there it is for those who are interested. That is the Brydge Plus.